Now that we have worked across various Excel formulas and tools, let us now focus on the presentation part. Let's say you have this kind of data, you have done a lot of analysis and you have some insights to show. So before that, let's kind of format this table so that it can be printed in a much more presentable way. So earlier we had merged this and centered this, but later we have added a couple of more columns. So in order to center this across this whole table, what we need to do first is we can click here on merge. So what will happen is it will demerge all these cells, and in the second point what we can do is we can select all of these at once and click this merge again. So this XYZ company list of employees, which is the head title, is centered and is at the first place. Let me also choose one of the options which I personally like. Let me just gray it for better viewing. Now this is one part which we have done. The second thing which I want to do is to remove all the borders which are being created unnecessarily from here, so that I can start from scratch. So I would in order to remove the bracket, I select all this table first and then go to borders and no borders. So by this way I have no borders across the table. If you remember, we had also worked on conditional formatting, so I just want to remove all the conditional formatting rules clear from the entire sheet. So this table is essentially clean now, and what I will do is the fastest way of formatting this table is to make use of the excellent formats which are available for disposal within the Excel tool. So I will probably use this table style light 9, and since my table has an header, this is checked, and I would press OK. So the moment I do that, you can see my table looks a bit better than what it was earlier. Though this table is a significant upgraded version from the previous table, we still believe that we can do some more value add. Say for example, if we take this column monthly salary, you can see there's a lot of redundant space which is not utilized as such. This is primarily because of the extended headings which we have created. Likewise, make note of this column which is J, percentage of total annual salary. Though it is utilizing only a space on the right hand side, but it has underutilized space like this. Now what happens when we make this a bit small? How do we make this a bit smaller? We can actually go to these intersection points and drag it according to our needs. So we can drag on the left hand side, we can drag on the right hand side. Let's say this is the right column width which we want. Now if you may look at this cell, you will find that the original entity percentage of total annual salary is still available. However, it is not yet displayed when we probably look at from the view. However, there is another Excel function which will help us view this whole text. This is known as wrap text. I don't want it to be in a continuous fashion. I want it to be wrapped at the fag ends. So what we can do is we can wrap the text, and the moment we do that, you can see that the width of this row increases in order to accommodate the overall display of the text inside this cell. So likewise, if I would select all of these headings and wrap the text and then adjust these headings accordingly, in doing so you can see that probably I am not only saving some space, but I am also neatly organizing my whole data point in a much more efficient fashion. So this is what your full table will look like if you would probably use wrap text for the headings. Now that we have formatted our table in a basic way, we can see that there is certain scope of improvement within this table. We can actually reduce this number of decimals which are really not required. So 0.00, 100.00, all these are not adding any value. So we can reduce the number of decimal points, and we can even clean this table like this. So by doing that, our table becomes even more clearer. Now let us look at formatting these final tables here: total salary, maximum salary, minimum salary, and average salary. One thing that you may be noting here is that this cell is not fully visible and is denoted by hash. Please don't worry, it is not an error as such. The only problem is that we are trying to squeeze a larger data or a larger number into a smaller cell, and hence it is not visible. The way you can remove this is by adjusting the width from the top, and you can actually do that. So by which you can see that this problem of hashes is now totally removed. So let us format this table. Maybe we can have a thick border now, so that it can be really highlighted.